Much editing in this video, but good to see you again, man. This is gonna be a cleaning video for basically all of our guns. We're gonna start with the most difficult setup, which is our SCW or MCS. It's not difficult, but just more procedures to break it down. So this will cover everybody. And then once we get the bolt out of the gun or get to the upper where we can pull the upper off, it's the same goes for everybody as far as taking your bolts apart. So I'm gonna try to make this quick. Stay tuned. So one thing I forgot to mention is the way I do it is we'll talk about what we need first. This is a gun scrubber spray, works great. You'll see how I hit it with this, just inside the chamber, inside the upper, and the bolt carrier a little bit. And then I come back and I hit everything the same way with the gun oil, synthetic gun oil. Sometimes it's called Barricade. It's by Birchwood Casey. Then of course, gun oil to grease the gun up after you get it cleaned. One thing I do, if you shoot a lot, or if you can afford it, it's not that much. This little thing right here it's just a jewelry cleaner. It's an ultrasonic cleaner. And man, what I do is I kind of cheat a little bit, but really it's not even about making it easier. It's still the same process. It's just, it gets your bolt, like when you take your bolts apart and drop it in there, 30 minutes with the little simple green, but they're craft grade or whatever it is, the high dollars. When you put a little bit of that in the water, and it cleans it. When you pull the parts out, they look brand new, but you do have to grease them again. So I'm going to show you how I do that. But it's basically the same thing. If you want to get an ultrasonic cleaner to get your stuff spotless every time, there's like $100 on Amazon. You don't need a big one. Upper's a 5-inch upper, just a 5.56 upper. Now this is what I say is unique about taking the gun apart. Of course, so this is a maximum defense setup. Now for all you guys that just have a regular buffer tube, you don't really need to watch this part. All right, so maximum defense, guys. Press this button, pull your brace out. All right. Now, everybody can watch this part. This here is what you do to every AR-15 when you pop the upper. You press the back takedown pin. All right, but on this system, you've got to also do the front. Usually you take the back and put it on a seesaw, and it'll come up, but this one won't do that because it's a different kind of system. So all you guys have maximum defense systems, remember that. Then you pull the front pivot pin, and this is, like I said, on the maximum defense back, you just kind of slide this out. Well, there we go. Kind of crazy the way the assembly is on it, but it works. There's your buffer. There's your buffer spring. And here's your cut bolts. Now again, everybody that has a regular AR-15, all you would do in that case is, show you real quick, we'll move on. All right, so if you had a regular AR-15, not this setup, just a regular buffer tube, you would hit the back takedown pin like that, pull it out on this side, put it on what I call a seesaw. All right, then you grab the charging handle like this, and you pull it, and your bolt comes out with it. So then I just kind of pick the bolt up, take it out, set it aside. Charging handle's got these grooves in it, here and here. But when you slide it in, it falls down in this slot. And see, it locks like that. Now I'll show you later, it's very important on how to put your bolt back in. But that's how you take the charging handle out, and that's how you take the bolt out. Then you go to your front pin, you take it out, like so, and boom, you got your upper, you got your lower. All right. So, first what we'll do is, what I like to do, or what I do, since I'm using my ultrasonic cleaner, I take a set of pliers like this, pull the pin out, drop the firing pin, it'll fall right out. Then right here, you spin this. Sometimes it'll give you hell, but just put some strength on it and spin that way, 90 degrees, and that'll come out. Then you can pull your bolt out. You see? That's how that works. This is your carrier, your bolt carrier. This is your bolt. Firing pin, whatever pin, and whatever pin. All right. All right, so now what I do, like I said, is usually you take the spray, clean it up, get your rag, just clean the shit out of it. But if you got one of these, take this, put your bolt and stuff in here. Don't lose your pin. I always lose these damn things. Gotta steal them from other guns. I'll put the charging handle in there too. You don't really want to touch, you don't want them touching each other because it'll wear paint off. Be careful how much of that aircraft grade you put into that simple green in there too, because it'll clean some stuff off. So anyhow, I'll put these in there. Back while that's going, and I start on my upper. Actually, I'll do my lower first. Just so I like to spray it with a little gun scrubber in there. Because what that does is it dries everything out. it's not a, that's why you got to come back and hit it with the oil, because it'll rust. Yeah, that's it. Anyhow, and it eats up all that stuff that you can't get into, you know, that you can't reach or whatever. I mean, you can get in there with try to get a toothbrush, whatnot, but you don't need to do all that really. I just get that in there like that. I don't really hit the outside of this too much. We Cerakote these guns, so I don't think it's, I mean, it's not bad for it, but I don't know how good it is for it, you know. So I try to minimize the outside of the gun with this shit, because it leaves it like white, and also leaves it kind of, it has this white crust when it dries. So we go to the upper. This is important. This is very, very important. This and your bolt. Just take your same thing, your gun scrubber here, and I hit it just. You want to buy a couple bottles of this, man. It's worth it. Spray it on. Start at the top. Let it rinse down. And I get in there. Make sure my dust cover's open so I can hit it from the other side. And I get in there and just try to spray all that copper you see in there, or you know, you'll see little or brass flakes, not copper. And just spray up in the chamber, down in the barrel, and that's good with the gun scrubber. Team brush and a microfiber rag, and I just kind of, you know, get in the inside of the upper like that, and then I press down to get in this groove so I can get down in there, because I want, you know, it needs to be clean when it's delivered. And so you may have different brushes, but you know, I get in there and just try to get that chamber out. They have different size brushes for different calibers. It may work easier. I just use this one size fits all, and plus you can bend it like this and it'll bend back, and you can get in there, you know, if you need to. And then what I like to do too, put the microfiber rag, and I'll stick this in there like this, and I get in there real good like that. Not bend your gas tube. Be careful about that. If you want to press down on top of that, it'll bend it. You know, get it in there, son. Clean it. You know how to clean it. You know what I'm talking about. And so it looks pretty good. It's not done yet. That's just the first take, the first pass. While I'm doing that, I kind of wipe everything down. All right, now we come back with this gun oil. And these got straws on them. You know, if you don't, that's a gun scrubber. But they all come with straws and stuff if you prefer that. It's not really as necessary, I don't think, unless your gun's really dirty and you don't clean it, which most of y'all's are probably, I'm sure, insanely dirty, because I'm sure y'all don't clean them. Obviously, I keep them clean after, you know, 20 rounds, 50 rounds, I clean them. So you get this in here. Now this gun oil, see there's a little bit of brass right there. It'll take care of the rest of it. Then you just, I'd hit the whole thing with this stuff, outside and inside. Get it real good so it doesn't slip out of your hands. I'll dry the outside, you know, wipe the outside down first. You can kind of be hard on it. Just make sure you got something soft to put it on. Well, you get all this off. Look how good that's starting to look. Get in there. You're always going to have dings right here from their, you know, ejections, but we try to cover it up with a piece of high heat vinyl before we take it to the range, so it doesn't leave marks when you get it. It doesn't have scratches on it. So I just pretty much got the outside, and I do the same thing. Same brush. Get in there.
Just make sure it's kind of, you get it all over the place. This is the gun oil. And it, you know, my opinion, soaks in there and just really makes it kind of soft for everything, which is good. You come back with the rag. Do like I said, do here. Trying to go fast, you guys. You never sit here and watch me clean the damn gun. Now look at that. That looks pretty good, huh?
I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's not too bad. Still a little wet in there. So the upper's done. You know, and I'll come back and wipe it down again, of course, for final touch. And I come back over here. That's still, my bolt carrier's still cleaning, so this is all pretty much dried out. So we'll take this gun oil. This is kind of like I said, a barricade. This will keep it from rusting.
And it gives a little bit of lubricity or viscosity or whatever the hell you say. Makes it slick. You want everything to be, you don't want grinding on metal, you know. You don't want to, if it feels like it's grinding, your bumper tube's grinding, or your bumper spring, put some oil on it. Oil makes everything better. Alright, in the AR world.
Resetting. There we go. Bolt catch is good. Just kind of get that real good. I'm done with that. Now, I'll stick with some of this oil here. You can either brush the spring with it or just put a little bit in there, but it's gonna, first time you shoot it, if you do it like this, you're gonna smell the oil. It's gonna smell funny. It may smell like some oil burning, but that's how I do it. Any of you that's got a gun for me probably knows that smell. All right, so that's clean. This is clean. This one, oh, I gotta grease up I'll grease up the trigger a little bit on these springs. I'll hit it back here where On the bottom of the trigger there, just a little bit. I mean, it can't be too much grease, you know. Make sure and I'll do this before they leave, but you always want to make sure those legs on this hammer are out all the way to the edge and not crossing each other. The springs aren't crossing each other. All right, so let's just take this out. May not be done, but we're gonna. There you go. It heats the water up and vibrates it, and it cleans it. I mean, you can just tell already, I'm sure. So I'll wipe everything down. I don't need no gun scrubber because I got all the stuff off of it with this. Most of it anyway. This is your carrier again. This is your gas key if you want to know the name of that. That's where the gas tube goes into to push the bolt back. Clean that real good, wipe it down. Make sure everything, all the black stuff's off of it, all the carbon is off of it. Alright. This is still a little dirty, so this obviously gets the dirtiest. This is your bolt. But that's ultrasonic cleaner, man. It really gets the stuff looking pretty good. See, it's already starting to shine. I even like to tell, I don't know if it's just me or if this helps or not, but I like to take it a step further and hit it like this. Get behind them little grooves. Just in case, you know, something back there you don't know about. I can see. I know my vision ain't perfect. Far from it. I had LASIK twice. Alright. So, just clean everything up, you know what I mean? Pretty simple. Really, assembly is the hardest part of cleaning a gun. It's not cleaning the gun, it's learning how to take it apart and put it back together. And if you do that, man, your stuff, I'm telling you, it'll last forever. Alright, so now we're ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the bolt back together. Before we do that, I hope y'all can see this. I hope I didn't. Anyway, before we do that, we're going to oil this up. Not too much, just a little bit all over it. Put it here, so you see it's already got a little sign of wear because that, you know, we shot it, test fired it, so it's going to have a little bit. We lube it up. Put a little bit right there. That's just a tiny bit right there. And I mean, I wet it up, man. That's what I do. All right, brother. Get that rolling. Take your bolt. Now, on your bolt, you've got two sides. There's a hole right there, obviously. One side of whether you can see it or not, one hole is bigger than the other. It kind of goes in like a cone. So, what you do is just stick your bolt back in there like that, and you spin it around. You fellas can see that, but you see how you spin it around to where you think the bigger hole is facing you. And you stick this thing, and it's got a hole in it too, if you see that. But this goes in there like that. Won't go in, you know, that other side. Once it goes in, you want to spin it. And when you spin it, it'll turn that other hole that I showed you before I stuck it in there open, so you can stick your firing pin in there. Take your fingers like this, and pick that firing pin, see it's going right in there. Sometimes you got to help it a little bit. So I help it a little bit like that. Then pull your bolt out a little bit like that. You take remember your pin right here? Stick it in there. See, there's a little hole and there's a big hole. I'm dropping my mic. And when you stick it in there, you want to push it down like this and spin it. And you'll get it in there. If it gives you hell, put some grease on it. Make sure your firing pin does not fall out of the back of the bolt. That's what you want to check. Now, this is very important. Before you put this back in the gun, you have to make sure that it is extended. It's got to be pulled out like that. If it's not, it will not go in the gun. This gas key sits inside this charger handle like that. So the way that works is, take your upper. Did we grease this already? I can't remember. I don't think we did. Put a little grease in the upper too. Not too much. Take your charger handle. Remember, we got these lips right here. We'll stick it in here like this. Slide it, and it will fall in them lips. And then just stick it in there where it's holding. Just a little bit. Make sure this is extended. Put your gas key, flip it upside down. Your gas key sits just like that inside the charger handle, and it all goes in smooth. And that's for any bolt carrier. This was just a cut bolt. Normal AR-15s have the longer bolt, but it's the same procedure. Now, generally on an AR-15, you take the front pin like that, back pin, open them both up, put it on the seesaw like this, drop that down like this. But this is a maximum defense setup, so this buffer has to face, or this plastic piece has to face out like the back of the gun. This goes in the back of the bolt, like that. You see? When you stick it in, make sure your pins are both pulled out, and you just slide it in like that. Drop it down, push the pins in. Win a chicken dinner. Hit this, boom. That's how you clean an AR-15. Appreciate you guys watching. See ya.